Air. What is the latest and greatest? Hope everybody's doing well, feeling fantastic and excellent spirits. Good to be here. 9:30. Let's make sure that's up. Yes, I'm over here making last minute adjustments, dotting I's, crossing T's with the latest podcast coming at you an hour from now, right here on the channel. And I hope you're able to join. If you're watching this on the replay, definitely go back, check it out. It's going to be interesting to think that the two highlights that I want to unpack here when it comes to this podcast, both in the NBA and NHL, happens to be my favorite teams. Now watch me go ahead and extol all their praise and the credit that they deserve, that being the Boston Celtics and the New York Islanders, and watch them go into a tailspin. Watch me put the hex or the jinx on my favorite teams, and then here I'll be about a week from now, 2 weeks from now, heaven forbid, a month from now, saying, what happened to this team? They got off to this tremendous start out of the All-Star break. Celtics 5-1. The Islanders are 3-0, and three of those wins have all been comeback victories of the multi-goal variety. They've been down at least 2 goals in each of the games, including last night. They were down 2-0 to the Florida Panthers, and they're done. They're toast. Even if they do make it into the postseason, they're not going anywhere this year. And go back and check the receipt after they won the Stanley Cup last summer to win back-to-back and to go to 3 straight cups. I said to myself, this team, there's no way that they're going to go for a three-peat. And then even on top of that, I also mentioned that with the injuries that they had, Alexander Barkov during training camp, and then Matthew Tkachuk, who had to sit out until late December, maybe early January. He had that sports hernia that he had to get surgery on. And their number in Vegas was 105.5, I believe. 105.5. And I think as of right now, what do they have, 63 points? That is a lock. And maybe I'll go through the over-unders at this point, knowing that we are more than 2/3 into both the NBA and NHL. NBA is right at 2/3, I think. Let's see. NBA. No, as a matter of fact, I passed that because when I think about the Celtics last night, 40-20, who would have thought? I thought they were going to win 42 games this year. And they're already at 40. So both leagues here in the fall and winter sports are right now, not necessarily in the home stretch. Home stretch, you want to get to about 10 games left when you get to later this month. But let's face it, those two teams have been unbelievable out of the, All-Star break for the NBA and the Olympic break for the NHL. So I'll touch on that. I'll also get into what's happening in college basketball as we're 2 weeks away from the tournament. 2 weeks from tomorrow, I understand technically it begins, but to me, it's 2 weeks from this coming Thursday. So I got that. And then Major League Baseball, there's some news and notes I want to get into where we have a lot going on. We also have the World Baseball Classic, which begins Thursday. I won't talk about that until Thursday's podcast. And listen, I'm not going to give you a big, giant overview or a complete analysis and breakdown of the World Baseball Classic. I can even barely tell you who's on the rosters of these teams. I know Aaron Judge is the captain on the USA team. We know that the Dominican team is loaded. I don't know about their pitching. I'd have to go back and check. But, I mean, when you have Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., Juan Soto, the team is, stacked. And I'm not going to say that they're the favorite, but I would think they'd be one of the favorites between them, Japan, and the U.S. I would think rank them in whichever order you want. Maybe Japan because they're the defending Baseball Classic champion. And remember, when they started this back in 2006, I believe? It was 06, 09, 13, 17, and then with the pandemic, they moved it to 23. And then they made it now this year. So I think they're going to make it every 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. But the Japanese team, I would think right now, you probably have to favor them. Then maybe USA, Dominican would be neck and neck. After that, it falls off, I think. I know Venezuela's probably going to put forth a good team. Puerto Rico, without Francisco Lindor, because they didn't have the insurance to cover him, as far as, heaven forbid, if he got hurt. It was he and a couple other players, I believe. Off the top of my head, I can't recall. So, yeah, I don't expect them to be as stout as the aforementioned clubs, but I'll talk more about that on Thursday. And in the NFL, the new season begins next Wednesday, and you already know there's going to be a lot of players cut. We've already seen some transactions go down here over the course of the last, couple of weeks since the Super Bowl. Super Bowl ended, 3 weeks ago yesterday? And we've seen some trades. Jermaine Johnson going from the Jets to the Titans. We've seen the Texans trade one of their offensive tackles, I believe Titus Howard, to the Browns. So I'm sure you're going to see a lot of that. And it's not going to be official until we get to next Wednesday, but I will touch on a little bit of that. And that'll be your podcast as we try to get through the early part of this month into the tournament, which 2 weeks from today, I will go through the brackets, break it down, controversies, who got left out, who shouldn't have been put in, etc. So we have that to look forward to. We also have the daylight savings time to look forward to, which is, when you think about it, a week from today, and really a week from yesterday. So 5 days from now, Saturday night, make sure to turn your clocks forward. And then we'll have an extra day or extra hour of daylight from now until November. And even with that, you really don't feel it until you get to the summertime, because when summer in the middle of June, July, especially those 2 months, and even May, because when you get May, you start seeing it gets dark a little bit after 8, then it gets dark at 8:15, 8:30, 9 o'clock. When it gets dark after 9, oh man. Or you still get those traces of light, especially where I live. You get, when you look out toward the west and you see that it's still light out and you look at your watch, it's like, oh, it's 9 o'clock. Oh man, there is no better feeling, at least in my eyes, when you have those longer days and warmer days. So I welcome it with open arms. Vic, welcome, Vic. Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? Yes, he should, and he will be, but they have to go through this 2-year period. Because if you remember last year, after Pete Rose died, now they want to select or elect both Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson into the Hall of Fame. And Shoeless Joe Jackson, it goes back over 100 years with the Black Sox scandal, the 1919 World Series. If you don't recall, there's a movie called 8 Men Out. Check it out, as it'll detail what transpired back then. But instead of him having to go through this 2-year period to where whomever is on that committee has to pick, put him in the Hall of Fame. The guy is what? 3-time World Series champ, hits leader, Charlie Hustle. It's a disgrace. So he should be in the Hall of Fame in roller skates. And I understand betting, and he signed a waiver to say that he can't be put into the Hall of Fame. That was Bartlett Giamatti, and obviously the controversy since then, whether or not he should be in the Hall of Fame. But yeah, that's, to me, that's an automatic. And hopefully the committee, 2 years, that's a joke. But Vic seeks peace. I hear you, man. 3/1/91. Looking at that, was that your birthday yesterday? And if that was your birthday, that means you are now 35. Should a computer call balls and strikes instead of a baseball umpire? Well, you know what? In this day and age, I don't have a problem with it. And I'm a traditionalist. I'm old school, man. But we've seen it a couple of times. I know in the Met game over the weekend where Francisco Alvarez was up, and I think it was a 3-2 count, and he tapped his helmet to say, that was a ball, and sure enough, it was a ball. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. But the thing is, they only get 2 challenges a game, and they'll get 1 in the extra innings, I think, per inning. So, yeah, I don't have a problem with it. Why not? These umpires, some of them, not all of them, they get it wrong. And a lot of these balls and strike calls are egregious. So, and mind you, I've been watching baseball since the mid-'70s. So, yeah, how I look at it is, I don't care. Why not? You see it in tennis where they have where the ball lands on the line to make sure that it was in or out. Of course, the NFL, they have replay. And I understand it's not replay detail like balls and strikes or similar to tennis, making sure that the ball is in or out. But, yeah, I don't have a problem with it. Not at all. Are you a big baseball fan, Vic? I'm curious. I'll talk a little baseball on the podcast, which is coming at you at the bottom of the next hour. So at 10:30, right here on the YouTube channel, live podcast. Whatever questions, comments, I'll wait till after my stream of consciousness talking about what's happening in sports, and then I'll take your questions. So if you love sports, like it, gotta have it, casual, diehard fan, anywhere in between, please hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it, because that's what the channel is about. But as far as the baseball, I'm looking forward to it. I know you got the World Baseball Classic. For those who are wrapped up into it, I will touch on that more on the next podcast Thursday, because my podcast every Monday and Thursday. I also have a live stream at 12 noon every Wednesday Eastern time. And I'm also in the middle, I'm also in the middle of doing 31 days of live streams. And this is day 2. I had my live stream yesterday, which detailed the 8th anniversary of the podcast and 1 year of live streaming. So here's my second one today, and I'm also going to do the other live stream come next with the podcast. So tomorrow and through the rest of the month, I'm going to do a live stream. Should Barry Bonds be in the Hall of Fame? I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. And again, you know me, I just said it before, Vic, I'm an old school guy. But when we take a look at what these certain committees, as well as the writers, when you look at Scott Rowland in the Hall of Fame, I mean, what? Scott Rowland? The guy was very good. But to be in the Hall of Fame, you got to be great. You got to be elite. You got to be excellent. And now that they've also brought in Andrew Jones, and I got into a lot of discussions with people about Andrew Jones. And listen, we understand. He's probably going into the Hall of Fame because of his defense, his 10 Gold Gloves. Great center fielder, without question. No ifs, ands, buts, maybes about it. Is he the greatest center fielder I've seen? Defensive. I like to say Ken Griffey Jr., and I've seen more of Andrew Jones play than Ken Griffey Jr., considering he played mostly in Seattle. I understand with the Reds in the second half of his career, but he's not a Hall of Famer in my eyes. He is not. Todd Helton ever have a chance? Probably a Hall of Great. Abe Wanna Beast. No, he's in the Hall of Fame, Todd Helton. And he's another one. Helton was he was a great offensive player, but do you remember where he played his games at? In Colorado. Thin air. And it's not to knock Helton, and it's not to knock these guys, Scott Rowland, Andrew Jones. To call them, in my eyes, not Hall of Famers, and they already are Hall of Famers, it's not an insult. Because in order for a player to be in the Hall of Fame, when that person's name comes up, it's automatic. And I'll give you an excellent point. I'm sure he's going to be eligible in 2 years, I believe. Is Albert Pujols a Hall of Famer? It's not even a nanosecond before you say, oh, of course, 1,000%. Or two of the guys that are in right now in Major League Baseball that are going to be Hall of Famers. If I tell you the name Max Scherzer, slam dunk, Justin Verlander, oh, without question. Those two guys, without a doubt. It was amazing catching in the dirt. All right, was he good at scoops? I'll give you that. But this is why, when I see, to answer your question, Vic, this is why when you ask me if Barry Bonds deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, absolutely. Because if guys like Scott Rowland, Andrew Jones, Todd Helton, if they're making it, Harold Baines, I mean, come on, seriously, then put in the steroid guys. Put in Bonds, put in Clemens, put in McGuire, put in Palmeiro, put them all. But on their plaque, you have the asterisk next to him to say, this person or this player was tied or accused or has been speculated that he had done performance-enhancing drugs. Put that in there. So when fathers take their sons or daughters to the Hall of Fame and they see Barry Bonds and they see all of his achievements and what they've done, but at the bottom they see the asterisk and they say, Daddy, why is that asterisk there? Then that's it. But those guys belong in the Hall of Fame. And that's the sad part, because the Hall of Fame has now become the Hall of Very Good. Not the Hall of the Great or the Elite or the Excellent, by far. Vic, how do the Dodgers get around the salary cap? Well, they're playing by the rules now. So I understand people want to call them the new evil empire, and the Dodgers are ruining baseball, and the Dodgers this, Dodgers that. They're not doing anything wrong. Now, they're smart because they know that if they were unable to give out deferred contracts, their salary cap would be about $550 million. I mean, we already know who the players are on the teams, et cetera, so we don't need to break that down. But you got to understand, because they're able to go around the luxury tax, and they're still paying luxury tax, so they can't avoid it. But instead of having their payroll $550 million, their payroll is what, $370 million? So that's $180 million of flexibility that they have, to where they know that they're still going to have to pay toward the luxury tax, but it wouldn't be as much as it would be if they didn't have those deferred contracts. So, listen, it's smart by them. But to answer your question, how do they get around it? They don't. They're going to continue to do what they do, but there is a collective bargaining agreement that is going to expire on December 1st. And I would think that the owners are going to roll up their sleeves and come at the players to say, we want a salary cap. Now, I don't know. Is that a fact? I would think it would be for competitive balance sakes, because as we all know, the Twins, the Pirates, the Marlins, the Rockies, they can't compete with the Dodgers, Mets, Yankees, Red Sox, Phillies, etc. They can't. And how do they expect to have that competitive balance if these other teams are going to hoard these players, in particular the Dodgers? But they're playing by the rules. So that's all there is to it. And they need a salary cap. It has to happen. But as much as there needs to be a ceiling, there needs to be a floor. So if the ceiling is going to be, let's say, $300 million, well, the floor has to be $150. So the Marlins, the Rockies, if they have $80 million payrolls, time to get to $150. Above it. Not hovering, we're at $148. No, they got to be well past $150 million. So that means get to $155. Don't get to $150 million and a penny, because I could see them wanting to do that as opposed to going a little bit over. It's okay to go a little bit over. Bawana, I'm fine with steroids players. It's the era. It's widely known. Yeah. I don't know if they need that. Yeah, no, I understand. No, the reason why I say they need asterisks, they don't need asterisks to you and I, but in 50 years, if those guys are in the Hall of Fame, those kids may not know or even think about it. 50 years from now, so the people who are born today that may even have grandkids, depending if they have a family young, let's say, I don't know, you have a kid that's born today, 22 years from now, he starts a family and he has a kid. And then 28 years after that, his kids are having kids. So he's a 50-year-old grandfather or grandmother. And that's not out of the realm of possibility. So now they're bringing their kids to the Hall of Fame and they don't know who Barry Bonds is if they fell on him. Then they could say, oh, wait a minute. So that's why you need the asterisk. To you and I, we know. So, but you got to think 50, 100 years down the road where people couldn't tell you Barry Bonds, couldn't tell you who Mark McGwire is, couldn't tell you who Manny Ramirez is. So, Fuqua, greetings. I assume everyone is taking something, but the tests have not detected a substance. Yeah, they have. And I know you just joined us, Fuqua. I know that Vic had asked the question, does Barry Bonds belong in the Hall of Fame? And he said something else, too. I like his questions. Pete Rose being in the Hall of Fame, and also should a computer call balls and strikes? Very good questions, Vic. I appreciate that. And as well as Bawan, who's come on and has had some very good baseball questions, too. But when he asked about Barry Bonds, because I talked about, well, if the writers are electing Scott Rowland, as well as Andrew Jones this year and Todd Helton in the past, then put in the steroid guys. Because those steroid guys, by far, are a lot better than Scott Rowland, Andrew Jones, and Todd Helton. Sorry. So that's what we've been discussing. Bawana, who are some of the teams with the lowest spending, if you know? I mentioned a couple of them. Marlins. The A's have spent money recently in their own players, which is great. But the Marlins payroll is low. The Twin payroll is low. I believe the Rocky payroll, it's got to be less than 100 million. The Pirates, I know they spent some money here in this offseason. They brought in a few hitters, the Marcell Ozunas and the Ryan O'Hearns of the world, but they're paying them a pittance for baseball talk. $12, $15 million. I mean, come on, you got players that are making $30, $40, $50 million. Val, what is happening? Bowana, I hear you. That is a solid point as well. Thank you. I appreciate that. Vic, should online sports books be legal in all 50 states? Now, just so you know, I'm not a gambler. I don't gamble. One thing that I will never associate myself with, especially as long as I have this channel, as far as having any type of partnership or sponsorships with gambling houses. I'm not doing that. Not a believer in it. That means that if you're into it, whatever, God bless you. I'm not hating. I would never judge, so on and so forth. But to me, as a lifelong sports fan listen, I'm not going to say I've never gambled, but rarely gambled. Let's just put it that way. And I certainly haven't gambled. The last time I gambled was I did Super Bowl boxes back in 2008. No, wait. Yeah, it was 2008. That was Super Bowl 42. The 2007 season with the Giants. And I was fortunate enough, I played a $20 box. And I had the numbers, Patriots 7, Giants 3. And wouldn't you know that the score at halftime was Patriots 7, Giants 3. And the score at the end of the third quarter was Patriots 7, Giants 3. So therefore, I won $500. It was a $25 box, not 20. $25 box. So I won $250 in both quarters. And I said to myself, that's the last time I'm ever going to play Super Bowl boxes because I don't think I'm ever going to hit that type of jackpot again. Number one. And number two, yeah, I never got into gambling as far as point spreads or whatever. I'll talk over unders. I like that's more of a fun thing, which I'll talk baseball over unders in 3 weeks. 3 weeks from this Wednesday. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. But as far as the gambling houses, should they be in all 50 states? I guess it's going to head that way. And at this point, why not? And why not? I'm not trying to, by any means, influence anybody to gamble, but it's just a matter of time. And I understand there's going to be, in those states, they're going to say, we're not going to allow it. But if you could gamble on your phone, the FanDuels and all that, and you're in a state that gambling's outlawed, now, I don't know. You see, this is where I'm naive. If you live in a state that doesn't have gambling, can you even bet on FanDuel or DraftKings or any of these gambling houses? I don't know. But it should probably get to that point, and it probably will get to that point. But I love these questions. These are great. Great questions, guys. Yes, Val B, my guy. So I was with Sports Illustrated Football for a while. SI, I'm assuming that's Sports Illustrated, right? It was so interesting to hear how the voters act when speaking to them off the record. If I'm asked, Bowana, what'd you do at SI? Were you a writer? Were you just behind the scenes? I'm curious. Interesting to hear how the voters act when speaking. Well, it's interesting because I'm not going to sit here and say I know how the voting process goes because everybody has their own opinion and their own thought, which is fine, as it should be. But I just think that a lot of people, more so in baseball, because a lot of it is with the metrics, with the WAR and, which I've never been a big WAR guy because prior to 2000, did anybody care what Mike Schmidt's WAR was? Did anybody care what Frank Robinson's WAR was? Did anybody care what Babe Ruth's WAR was? You just looked at Babe Ruth and his numbers. Now, I understand a lot of people weren't alive to watch him play, especially today, but you hear the name Babe Ruth, there's nothing to discuss. And I went over his numbers the other day on the podcast, which is on the channel if you want to go back and watch it. It's on the second half. We started talking about numbers. But you look at all those guys' numbers and the black type that's next to their names. I mean, come on. Those guys were lock Hall of Famers. And by any means, how I look at it is that war, I get it. Sports evolves, statistics evolve, etc., 100%. But to the point where the baseball writer today, they're going to look at someone's war. And in fact, I think there was a stat one time where somebody had come out and said that Lou Whitaker, second baseman of the Tigers in the 80s, very good player, not a Hall of Famer. But somebody had come out to say that he had a better war than Derek Jeter. Now, even if that was the case, if you're starting a team tomorrow, who are you choosing? And I hate the Yankees. I will never root for them as long as I'm breathing. But come on, I got to be serious here. If I'm starting a team, I'm picking Derek Jeter every day and twice on Sunday over Lou Whitaker. I mean, that's all there is to it. So, yeah, I mean, gambling has made just good for you, Buana. I hear you. And that's part of the problem, especially with the NFL. To me, that's what's ruined the NFL, is them getting in bed with the gambling houses. Why? Because a lot of the sport is, and it always has been with gambling as far as point spreads and things of that nature, but because of fantasy football and because of these gambling houses and in-game betting, props, things of that nature, and of course fantasy football, there are more people that watch football just for their fantasy football teams as opposed to watching it as fans, following teams or their favorite team. And that's why the NFL has just suffocated the sports landscape, because everything is about, oh, there's a game on Thursday night. Oh, all the games on Sunday, Sunday night game, a Monday night game. And when you get deeper into the season, you have the 3 games on Thanksgiving. You have a Black Friday game. Oh, now Christmas all of a sudden is on everybody's radar, where there used to be the NBA's day. Now that's also the NFL's days. They hijacked the NBA. Then you have the Saturday games once the college football season ends. And they have the doubleheaders, and they have, we're going to have these matchups at these times. Flex games. It's just, it's too much. Too much. And I can't stand it. That's the old school fan of me coming out there, Boana. Val. Yeah, don't you have an appointment today? Oh, no, that's right, because it's 9:30 my time. Yeah, I thought you had an appointment at 9:30 your time. All right. Well, that's good, Val. I hope your appointments go well. Juan, greetings. What's up, my man? Appreciate it. The taxes are great for the states. Oh, I understand. But I know in Jersey, it's legal to bet in Jersey. Rather not say, I hear you. With SI. Listen, Bawana, I'm going to tell you right now, and I would appreciate it if I'm happy you found me, first and foremost. I'm happy you hopped on board. But I will tell you that me, when it comes to sports, authenticity, transparency, integrity, that's what my channel's about. It's not about clickbait. It's not about rage bait. It's not about trying to get subscribers, headlines. Listen, I just recently passed 1,000 subscribers, and I've been really honing in and focusing in on YouTube going back to 2022. But since the beginning of 2024, I've been really just trying to zone in here on YouTube. So yeah, I'm not trying to be a flavor of the month. I'm not trying to be that clickbait guy that has no integrity. Sports has been in my blood, in my DNA since birth. And I got people that vouch for me. I know Val. The Novice, my guy, of course. Yes, today is Big Ben's birthday. Oh, maybe I'll bring up something on the podcast about him. Thank you, Val. That's an excellent one. He is 44? And oh, God, how much I miss him as a Steeler quarterback. Steelers, my favorite team. But Boana, yes. So I understand. You'd rather not say. I can totally get it. But one thing you'll get here is made by a sports fan for you guys and gals, a sports fan, but done the right way. None of this nonsense, none of this fluff, sugar, saccharins, artificial sweeteners when it comes to sports talk. But I welcome you. The Novice, gambling sites. I need my glasses. I don't know why. I had them here yesterday. Gambling sites An app have location tracking. So, oh, okay, I didn't know that. And it makes sense because, right, if you're in a state that gambling's illegal, the minute you go on, I'm sure it probably shuts you down. Yeah, and I don't gamble. Not a gambler, guys, as I just detailed a little while ago. And that's why, if there are any sponsorships that come my way, and it could be any of these houses, and they're like, hey, we'll give you X amount of dollars, blah, blah, blah. Nope. I know my wife would kill me. Be like, what? You turned down money and you're not generating income now, blah, blah, blah. But no, I can't. I won't do it. And that's why I like June Lee. June Lee, who worked at ESPN, also a writer. He doesn't want to associate himself, and I'm giving him a shout out like I know him. But I like what he stands for because he says, yeah, my channel, no gambling houses are going to be promoting or sponsoring me. I don't want that. And the same, I agree. Because I don't want to have any tie-in with gambling. Oh, here goes JAYREELZ. Nope. Will Smith. Yes, I didn't watch the game, but I know, yes, yesterday against Winnipeg. Good one, Val. Should NFL expand to an 18-game season? Vic? I've gone in hard on this. They're going to do it because the rank and file, the NFL players, they're going to kowtow to an extra paycheck, etc. Now, the player that's making $60, $70, $80 million guaranteed, they don't want the extra game. It's the backup offensive lineman. It's the long snapper, the punter, the kicker, any of the second or third string guys. Those are the ones that want the extra paycheck because those are the guys that aren't getting the 9-figure contracts. So, therefore, the rank and file is going to, just like the rank and file in baseball would want to get a salary cap. And think about it. When it comes to the NFL, they print money. They reign supreme. They're the impenetrable shield. So, eventually they're going to get to an 18th game. I hope they don't. I hate the 17th game. I hate it. But I think they're going to. I mean, I'd be stupid to sit here and say like, oh, it's never going to happen. It's going to happen. I mean, think about this. They have all these games that are international now, so they're going to have the 18th game. They're going to build in 2 bye weeks to give the players an extra blow, extend the season even more because they are the NFL. And the NFL, they could play it on the moon and air these games on Wednesday at 3 in the morning. And guess what? The ratings will be better than anything that's on TV. That's the Oscars. That's the Grammys. That's any TV show. Please, there isn't a TV show out there that's going to come close to the ratings that the NFL will make. And you're going to get your 18th game. Yes, Val, I know. You always have my likes, my like meter, I guess. I appreciate that. Yeah, Juan, absolutely. The novice. Ruth's last game was 1935, 90 years ago. Look at that. Yeah, but that's the thing about Ruth. I mean, now I don't know. Does the sports fan, in particular the baseball fan, do they even know who Babe Ruth is? Today. I mean, the guy only saved baseball. I'm not gross, you are? Uh-oh. I'm afraid to even ask. Cutting you out of the will. All right. That's Vic, should QB Eli Manning be in the Hall of Fame? Here's a very interesting debate. You can't take away the Super Bowls and the Super Bowl MVPs. I understand that. And I'm not going to do that here. But other than those 2 Super Bowl runs in the playoffs, he hasn't done much. He got shut out by Carolina in his first ever playoff game when they were a 1 seed. I believe they were 1 seed that year. Let me think about that. Arizona, Carolina. I don't think Carolina was a 1 seed. I think the Giants were a 1 seed. In 2008, the year after they won the Super Bowl, remember, they were 11-1, and then Plexico Burress accidentally shot himself in that nightclub. And they went 1-3 down the stretch. I believe they were still a 1 seed, but they got waxed by the Eagles in that divisional playoff game. And then they lost in Green Bay. That was, let me think. Yeah, that was the boat gate in Miami. Odell Beckham Jr., they all went down there. the week before the game. And he's 500 in a regular season for his career. He's going to get in. Listen, I'm not going to be silly to say he's not. He's going to eventually get in. He's gone now 2 cycles of this where he has not been elected into the Hall of Fame. But you could argue whether or not he should be. And him beating, and not only that, not only did he win the 2 Super Bowls, it's who did he beat? He beat Belichick and Brady. And in the first one, the team was undefeated. But here's the thing. The year that they beat the Patriots, the undefeated season, they were 10-6. And the second time when they beat the Patriots, they were 9-7. So it's not as if those teams were all-time Giant teams. And think about it, as I just mentioned, the year after they were 12-4 and a 1 seed, and they got bounced in the divisional round. So I can see the Giants were like the 86 Giants, where they were 14-2. We know about LT. He was the MVP of the league that year. And they went on and they killed the Broncos in the Super Bowl, more so in the second half. You're going to look at the Giants. When you think of the 86 Giants team, wow. Now, right, are they all-time 70s Steelers, 80s Niners, you want to say 90s Cowboys, or even the one-hit wonders like the 85 Bears? No, they're right below that. But that team was 14-2 and had the MVP. So you go look at that Giant team and say, yeah, we know why they were a Super Bowl team. When you look at those 2 years by the Giants, and I understand people, who cares about those years? But no, when you think about Eli Manning getting to the Hall of Fame, it's not as if he had a killer year. And he's never won an MVP. He's never been an NFL All-Pro first team. That factors into it too. I understand not everybody can be first team All-Pro. I get it, so on and so forth. Even Ben Roethlisberger, somebody mentioned his birthday, Val. When he's up for the Hall of Fame, he should be in. He never won a Super Bowl MVP. Never won league MVP. I don't even believe. Maybe he was second team. Let me look that up. Maybe, because I know 1 year he led the league in passing. And by the way, Ben Roethlisberger is the only quarterback in NFL history to throw for 500 yards in 3 games. Does that mean a lot? No, and he led the league in passing 1 year. I think he tied Drew Brees. Ben Roethlisberger. All right, let's see. He was... No, he was never... Oh, he has 4 career. I said 3, it's 4. Most completions in a game, 47. Was that in the playoff game against the... I should know that off the top of my head. I think it was in the playoff game. Against the Browns. Was he 47 for 58? I think it was in that game. Oh, I don't know. That may be another game. I got to think about that. But anyway, yeah, he was never... He wasn't even a second team All-Pro, Ben Roethlisberger. He was Rookie of the Year. Pro Bowl 6 times, but that doesn't mean anything. But he's going to the Hall of Fame. At least I think. I think he'd be first ballot. And then Eli, I know he wasn't. Nope. Was not. And listen, those guys played in an era where they had Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady, who were first or second team All-Pro. And Drew Brees, you got to throw him in there. So those 4 guys. And it's kind of really hard to crack that top tier. So, yeah. He's going to get in, though, Vic. I did college football, too, man, and it'll kill me mentally. Oh, really? Wait, you did college football? Meaning what? For SI, or you play college football? I'm curious. Grant, welcome back. On the mend, that's good. What'd you have, a flu? What's I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm glad you're here with us, so... And just so you know, people, for those who are just hopping on board, live podcast in 20 minutes here on the channel. But you got to go to the link. It's funny. I'm in a roll here. I love the questions by Buana and Vic. The Hall of Fame stuff. I mean, I could talk about this all day. Thank you, Juan. Appreciate that. Steph Curry will be out for 10 more games. Was it 10? I saw 5. Shut him down. I know you asked me that, Val. I don't think they're going to shut him down. If they're in the play-in scenario, which I believe they're still 8th, yeah, they're not going to shut him down. I mean, unless he can't walk. Oh, and hey, J-Rod, welcome. In the doctor's office. Yeah, that's right. I hope everything goes well. Big Ben come back, one more season with the Steelers. Oh, I wish. Yeah, like Phillip Rivers. You know what's funny? I think Ben Roethlisberger at 44 is probably a better option than what they have right now, which is crazy to even think that. But and who knows if Phillip Rivers is the one to uncover that? Watch, yeah, Ben come back, Brady come back. Oh, who knows? Yeesh. Brady's older than those guys. Sports for the people, by the people. Yes, the novice. I like that. That's a good one too. Fishing Angel. Greetings. Boana. Boana Beast eats killer tofu. I like that name, by the way. I like tofu also. Oh my God, I love it. Integrity is the reason I stopped. Really? I did a little everything. Writing true articles were removed for articles that could be read in the... Yeah, that's discouraging just to read that. Integrity is the reason you stopped. Yeah, I'm just mulling that over through my brain. Yeah, that's one of the reasons, you know what? And that's as discouraging as that is, Boana, and understand you're working in an environment that is structured. Me, I'm independent. And I understand I'm going to have to work 10 times as hard to get my name out there. But this is why I do what I do. Because despite the fact that I'm quote unquote new media and am not the longtime sports writer or haven't been a part of the print media or went through the proper channels as far as getting my education, whether that's Syracuse or Northwestern, whatever. But yeah, there needs to be that. And it's just a shame that that's one of the reasons why you stopped. And my heart goes out to you because you're doing what you love. And because they want to have articles that literally are 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, instead of having something that you're going to go in depth on. I mean, which could be the reason. Maybe, would you even think about starting your own channel? I'll follow you if that's the case. And matter of fact, if you do have a channel, I'll do that. Because that's what I'm all about, as I've shared with you. I know I need my glasses. I'm over here squinting. But I tell you. We've resigned Dalton Risner. Oh, Bengals. All right, tears of prayers. I hear you. Revenge. I get it. I think many want 18 games. Yep. They're fine with the contracts being prorated. From those I know. Yeah, and I've heard that too. And I wouldn't be surprised. And listen, it's going to happen. I mean, without fail. It's just a matter of time. Do I know Doraemon? I don't even know. No, I do not know who that is. 100%. We'd be drunk at 3 in the morning. Yeah, watching the NFL games. Yeah, exactly. If they start at 3 a.m. one. I put Eli. We'll get it eventually. East Coast bias is real. Oh, yeah, that I agree with. There is a big-time East Coast bias. And no, he's going to get in. Tyler Frazier, want to catch a fade? As long as it's in the end zone for a touchdown. I think you win a Super Bowl, he'd probably get in 2030. 2030, you think? So that's 4 years from now. We'll see. I hope, from your lips to the football god's ears, Giants were dangerous in the playoffs. Yeah, except for those couple of years, Coach Coughlin. I mean, listen, that's why it's so weird about Eli's career when you think about it. Because Eli, and he had good regular season numbers. Obviously, he compiled a lot of those big numbers, but still. Yeah, he's a fascinating case. He's going to get in, though. I mean, I'm not going to say, oh, he doesn't deserve it. Those Super Bowl wins. But then again, if he gets in, what about Jim Plunkett? Jim Plunkett has 2 Super Bowl wins. Now, did not win an MVP, though. that went to Marcus Allen in the second Super Bowl, and the first one was Rod Martin, where Eli has 2 Super Bowl MVPs. And Ben doesn't have any Super Bowl MVPs. He would have gotten an MVP if Santonio Holmes didn't make that catch in the end zone for the touchdown. And the first game, he was awful in the Super Bowl. Ooh. But yeah, no, Eli's a very fascinating case, though. 57,000 yards, 366, 2 Super Bowls. He will get in second year. No, Donavis, he actually didn't get selected this year, too. So next year will be his third year. I think all 3 from that year will get in the Hall of Fame eventually. All speculation. Yeah, I don't think Rivers is a Hall of Famer either. He's got numbers, I get it, but that's all he has. Here's the crazy thing about Phillip Rivers' career. Eli, obviously the Super Bowls, you hang your hat on that. Ben, Super Bowls, and not only that, he had very good regular season numbers, 64,000 yards, etc. Great winning percentage. I believe he almost won 2/3 of his games. I'd have to look that up. Let me see, can I look that up here? Where Eli was 500. It was 116 and 116. But Phillip Rivers, his only moment in the NFL was when he beat the Colts in 2007. And then the following, in the divisional round, then the following week he played in the AFC Championship game against the Pats, who were going for the undefeated season, on a torn ACL, which is heroic, which is, I mean, but is that Hall of Fame worthy? He doesn't have that moment where it's like, oh, wow. Yeah, Phillip Rivers. Let's say if he'd gone to a Super Bowl and he carried his team throughout and they fell short. At least you could say he's got that. What, you're not going to look at a regular season win against the Chiefs as, oh, that's his Hall of Fame moment? He doesn't have that. He's going to get in, though. Yeah, Jawan Taylor. Yeah, I saw that too, Val. Good one. Radio for college football? Oh, okay. Live podcast in 20 minutes. Now it's 13. I'm going to go to 10:25, people. And just so you know, to Buana, Vic, if you're still here, I do this podcast pregame every Monday and Thursday. My podcast will come on at 10:30. Now, I'm not going to answer comments for the first hour because I'm going to go through my stream of consciousness. And then in the second hour, I'll go through the questions and comments in the chat room. But I also do a Wednesday live stream, which is interactive. I go through questions and comments. That's 12 p.m. Eastern time every Wednesday. And then I'll have my podcast pregame. Usually it's 9:45. Today it's 9:30 because the wife isn't around. And usually the wife leaves to go to work after 9:30. I'm shouting her out. I want to shout out my wife. She's going to be returning from New Orleans this afternoon, so I wish her a safe flight. I love her, etc. But I do my 2 podcast pregames as well as 9:30, 9:45-ish, between that time frame. And then I do my live podcast. Usually it's at 11 a.m., but today's 10:30 considering. So, yeah, I have 7 minutes with you guys before I hop off. I have the perfect face radio. Thank you. I take that as a compliment. What's that? A couple of G's and Randy. Blah, 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 whatever. Okay. Bio. Greetings, my man. You're on the men too? Have the flu? Oh, geez. At 50 is not fun. Take ginger shots. Ginger lemon. That'll wake up and really attack your immune system. Thoughts on college NIL? Listen, we know college sports is crooked. It's been that way for eons. And now it's even worse. Come on, you have 25, 26, 27-year-olds playing college football. And listen, I'll have to say, and I know I'm being a little bit contradictory, but deep in my heart, it's wrong. So Trinidad Chambliss, the quarterback of Ole Miss, he's coming back, and he had to fight for that, which I thought to myself at the time, come on. I mean, the guy, how old is he? I don't even know. I think he's 24. And he wants to get a 6th year in college basketball. It's college football. But it might as well have me play at this point. Can I get on 18? Yeah, he'll be 24 by the start of the college football season. Come on, what are we doing? And, I mean, that's just added another level to the crookedness of college sports. So, and part of that has to do with transfer portals, NIL, extending their college careers. I mean, it's a farce. and I hate it. I don't like it. There should be a level playing field. There shouldn't be a thing where you have Stetson Bennett for Georgia winning back-to-back a few years ago, and they destroyed TCU in that game, and he's 25 years old. And listen, I understand you had Chris Wenke back in the day who played, and was what, 30? No, I'm kidding when I say that. Listen, I understand there's a list of these guys that have played well past their college careers, but now it's just, it's ridiculous. I mean, I hate it. Milton from London, welcome. I appreciate you. Alexander Allen, Peak Official, what is up, my man? Thanks for hopping on board. Buana, I tried to make a channel, had some big names on. Oh, really? I'll say I had a big first-round pick this year. Okay, winner of a Jim Thorpe Award. But I got very ill and can't speak well enough. Oh, is that right? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Saba, it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Nice, like this format. Thank you, Buana. Maybe I can have you on my podcast. What do you think? If you're willing. No pressure. Not trying to twist your arm. But if you'd like to, send me your email. And listen, we won't unpack some of the stuff you talked about earlier that you want. I get that. But just your career, your experiences, things of that nature, that's what I love. But I know you say you can't speak well enough. Now, hopefully you're not ill. Or hopefully you can speak well enough to at least be a part of a podcast. Maybe me babbling the way I have been over the last now almost hour, 51 minutes and counting. And I got 3 more minutes before I sign off, guys. But, yeah, and you had a first round pick if I think about that. You said this year, right? Winner of a Jim Thorpe Award? Who won the Jim Thorpe last year? The kid from Ohio State, maybe? I don't even know. What's his name? Yeah, obviously he's done well in the combine. Oh, geez, I know. I don't have college football right on the brain as of right this second, so my apologies. Plunkett. Yeah, no, he's not a Hall of Famer. I just use him as an example, but good one, Donavis. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Buana, thank you for subbing. Thank you. Yeah, and the thing is, I've been posting content. Obviously, I post shorts, podcast, especially when everything is going on in the sports world. I know over the weekend I didn't really post a lot. There wasn't much going on. But, yeah, I appreciate you subscribing. I really do. I wore my hair at the doctor's. Nurse thought it was great. Oh, nice. All right, J-Rod. That's funny. I enjoy being on your live, JAYREELZ, one time. Yeah, thank you, Val. Absolutely. Yes, I remember when you were on. Oh, play longer these days, so age shouldn't matter. Yes. Or QB play. Yes, I can't even read it. You're right. And obviously the rules favor the quarterbacks too, so. No, a few years ago, the wide receivers tight. Oh, is that right? Oh, okay. Nice. I look like Zinedine Zidane? Really? And I get all these. Aaron Hernandez, of course. Somebody told me one day I look like Cristiano Ronaldo. I understand. I can take that as a compliment, but that was. I feel like I'm watching Jordan again winning championships repeat. For which team? Thirst for the game pregame show. Yes. Oh, that's a good one, Donavis. Yeah. Instead of just podcast pregame. I'll take a screenshot of that. Hold on. You really look like Cellini? I don't know who that is. Somebody told me I look like one of these K-pop guys, which, I mean, Giorgio, another soccer player. Let me see. He's got the big nose like I do. His features are a little bit more, I don't know. It's close. Oh, Riddick. Okay. That's right. Yeah, Tyler Riddick. Good one, Juan. All right. It's funny when you said Jordan three-peat. Yeah, I didn't think of auto racing. Yeah, he's been on a roll. I know he won the Daytona 500, and I believe yesterday was there another race that he won. Yeah, he's been on fire. Juan, that's good. You have me on my toes. Awesome. Good one, man. All right, it's 10:25, guys. I gotta hop off. If you jump on the next 5 minutes, the link is here on the channel. Please hop on board. I'm gonna talk Celtics, Islanders. Those are my two teams. Are they dark horse championship teams? I'll also get into what's happening in college basketball, NFL as the new season begins next week, and MLB. I got you covered, people. True sports talk, real sports talk, no clickbait. You know that. And hop on board. I hope to see you there. But again, I'm not going to respond to any comments or questions until after I get everything out in the open when it comes to what's happening in sports. I appreciate you all for hopping on board. Many thanks. And don't forget, March Madness. Let's go. Definitely, Juan. I'm looking forward to it as well. Hope to see you on the flip. Until then, on the flip, baby.